Mobile Elevated Work Platforms, or MEWPs, are vehicle-mounted devices used to help workers complete tasks more efficiently in an elevated position. They are commonly used across the construction industry because of their ability to reach and maneuver around elevated areas. If you plan to use an MEWP, make sure your workers are properly certified to operate these machines and can follow the proper requirements. How do you determine which MEWP works best for your job? First, you should conduct a job site analysis. Some areas of concern that you should assess before selecting an MEWP include the location where you'll be using the MEWP. Check if you'll be working inside or outside and consider available power sources. Also, be sure to assess the ground conditions and if you'll be working on flat or unsmooth surfaces, grass, dirt, mud, or sand. Next, check the weight capacity of the machine in the manufacturer's requirements. Know how many tools, materials, and personnel will be inside of the platform while elevated. The manufacturer typically states how many personnel are allowed in the basket. Lastly, check how high you'll need to reach and how much extension you'll need from an MEWP. Sometimes you may need to reach into areas that are very small and tight quarters. These situations may require a special type of MEWP. Conducting a daily pre-inspection prior to use of any MEWP is vital to ensuring you're safe to operate the machine. When performing the inspection, both the vehicle and lift components should be checked for defects. Most manufacturers have a checklist available in the operator's manual. This is a great guide to use for your inspection routine. In addition, an annual inspection must be performed no later than 13 months from the date of the prior annual inspection, and they shall be performed by a qualified person. It also requires pre-start and intermittent inspections to ensure equipment condition. The standard states aerial lifts, for example, should be inspected every 3 months or 150 hours of use. Ensure that the floor level can support the weight of the MEWP if working in a building. You should also assess the strength of nearby trenches, excavations, sewers, drains, manholes, and roads that can give way, causing the MEWP to collapse. It's recommended to use a registered professional engineer to help know the strength of these specified areas. Falls are one of the greatest hazards associated with the use of MEWPs. A competent person shall ensure that all their workers are trained on how to properly use fall protection systems. Aerial lifts pose the greatest risk of ejection due to travel on uneven terrain. Because of this high risk, OSHA requires employees to wear a personal fall arrest or travel restraint system while operating an aerial lift. This means a worker should be tied off while in the platform at all times. There are no OSHA or ANSI regulations that require workers to wear personal fall arrest or fall restraint systems while using a scissor lift. However, several manufacturers recommend the use of personal fall arrest or fall restraint systems while using scissor lifts, as they have approved anchor points constructed in the basket. Some important information to know before choosing a lanyard is the difference between personal fall arrest and personal fall restraint. Personal fall arrest systems protect a worker after a fall occurs. Personal fall restraint systems prevent a worker from ever experiencing a fall. When selecting a lanyard, you want something short enough to prevent the worker from climbing out of the basket. Adjustable length positioning lanyards are the best solution for this scenario. Make sure you attach your lanyard to an approved anchor point. Most MEWPs are constructed with anchor points on the mid or lower guardrail, and most importantly, never tie off to a guardrail. To effectively address potential emergencies like falls from the platform, equipment breakdowns, or entanglements, it is vital to pre-plan rescue methods. According to OSHA, the employer shall provide for prompt rescue of employees in the event of a fall or shall assure that employees are able to rescue themselves. Rescue can be performed in 3 different manners: self-rescue, assisted rescue, and technical rescue. If performing a self-rescue, here are some options to consider. Use the platform auxiliary controls if the primary controls fail. Use either a platform-installed self-rescue system or personal self-rescue system, or use suspension trauma safety straps until assisted or technical rescue is performed. Here are some assisted rescue options. Have another person use the primary ground controls to help lower the platform. If the primary ground controls fail, then use the auxiliary ground controls. Use a secondary MEWP to transfer personnel from platform to platform. Keep in mind that 100% tie-off is required during the transition. If a technical rescue needs to be performed, it's vital to understand that the response time may not be enough to meet the OSHA and ANSI requirements. Research indicates that suspension in a fall arrest device can result in unconsciousness followed by death in less than 30 minutes. ANSI recommends a goal for rescue subject contact of less than 6 minutes. This is why it's recommended to have self- and assisted rescue plans in place prior to using MEWPs. Working with a ground person is often your best practice. When working with MEWPs, you should also make sure you ensure that access gates or openings are closed. Stand firmly on the floor of the bucket or lift platform. Do not climb on or lean over guardrails or handrails. Do not use planks, ladders, or other devices as a working position. Do not operate an MEWP in winds above those recommended by the manufacturer. Do not operate an aerial lift within 10 feet of any power line. Keep in mind that this is the minimum requirement. Follow OSHA Table A for required practices of power line safety. Finally, do not operate in high or gusty winds. Check the manufacturer's maximum wind capacity prior to use. With the right precautions and training, we can all work confidently and securely with MEWPs.